Christine, thanks for joining us today. And I guess first of all, the Animal Foundation took in almost 34,000 animals. And I think a lot of people maybe are even confused what the Animal Foundation does and what the LEAD Animal Shelter does. Just explain that if you would.
Sure. The Animal Foundation is called what we refer to in the profession as an open admission shelter, meaning we take in all animals that come to us from our local government partners. We have contracts with Clark County, Las Vegas, and North Las Vegas, and those contracts require us to take in animals that are received from animal control officers, from their constituents. We take them all in, and last year, you're correct, that number was approximately 34,000.
And so basically people come here, and just explain how people come here with their animals and what they do.
So kind of the way it works is it's kind of a two-part process. So on the front end, there's intake, and so again, animals are coming in primarily one of two ways, either through animal control officers in the field or members of the public. And the Animal Foundation is the nonprofit that, again, holds the contracts to care for those animals for those local governments while they're on what we call their legal hold. So there's some kind of state or local ordinance that mandates that animals stay for, it typically averages about 3 days. Not how long they stay, but how long they're required by statute or law to stay, or ordinance. We keep the animals during that time, and at the end of the conclusion of that period, all of the animals are transferred to the Animal Foundation, where we sort of put on a different nonprofit hat and institute life-saving programs. So adoption, foster, rescue, return to owner. And so on the front end, there's the work we do as a nonprofit with our local government partners. And on the back end, when the local government responsibilities end, the Animal Foundation picks up and funds the care for those animals throughout their stay here. The Animal Foundation is the overarching organization. The LEAD, what people often refer to as LEAD, is a building on our campus, the LEAD shelter, which is where the local government where the sheltering happens. We're lost and found at first 3 days that I was talking about. There's also the Greenspun family dog adoption bungalows and other buildings on campus. And so Animal Foundation is the organization, LEAD Shelter is a place, Greenspun family dog adoption bungalows is a place.
Makes sense to me. Now, obviously, you've been in the news. In early June, you made a super great announcement that by 2020, you're going to become a no-kill shelter. Now, I know you in the profession, no-kill might not be the proper nomenclature for that, but just explain how huge this is to the community and to your organization.
It is huge. It's huge for many reasons and really, really exciting, certainly for staff and hopefully for the community. And you're right, there's a lot of discussion across the nation and elsewhere about no-kill and what does that mean and what's the number. From our perspective, the goal we set was that by the year 2020, so within 5 years, by the end of 2020, the Animal Foundation will save all of the healthy and treatable animals that come to our facility. And we believe that, just so that we have a backdrop, something to measure what that means against, we believe that that will be in the neighborhood of a 90% save rate. So maybe it'll be 93, maybe it'll be 87. It's hard to tell. 5 years is a long way, but we know we have a long way to go from here to there. So I look at it like by the time we get to 2020 and we're talking about whether or not it's 93 or 91, there's room for a new discussion. So we're really, really excited about setting that new goal. And what's great about it, and what's great about this vision is we have the solutions. We know exactly what we need to do to get there. We know how to get it done. There's other communities across the country who have put programs that we're proposing to put in place, and we've seen them cause dramatic turnaround in communities. So sometimes it's fun and exciting to be on the cutting edge. Other times it's nice to be able to look at the successes of others, and I'm excited about knowing that there are solutions to our challenges.
Obviously, this isn't something you can do overnight, and as it was explained to me, that basically there's three prongs approach here. Time, space, and funding is what is required for you to take this next step.
Sure, it's and I'm glad you brought that up. There, people ask, I've seen a lot of social media about 5 years. Why not now? Well, it is now. We are one of the things that the Animal Foundation board declared was not only that we would set this new goal, but that we, in order to kickstart it, would take $500,000 from our endowment fund to jumpstart some of these new programs. So, and we can talk about what the new programs are, but so just to put it in perspective. So the Animal Foundation has lots of programs in place, and the local government provides, again, on the front end, about $4.1 million for those legal hold services. The Animal Foundation then provides another $4 or sometimes $5 million regularly each year for other life-saving programs that we talked about earlier. What's needed now is we still need to maintain those programs, but we have to put these new additional programs in place, and we can talk about them. There's medical fund programs, intake intervention programs, better, increased adoption programs, community cat programs. That's a big one. And so, if we put all those programs in place tomorrow, that would be about a $2.5 million additional cost. So, we will get them all put in place. We will start doing that now, not 5 years from now, but it will take 5 years to put them all in, to fund and put them all in place and show the dramatic increase in life saving. It doesn't mean that we're certainly not waiting 5 years to get going by any means.
Okay, and I know obviously in addition to the great professional staff you hear, you're always looking for cutting edge and different techniques and things like that. I know that the UC Davis Correct Shelter Management Program, and also our friends in Utah, the Best Friends Animal Shelter. Talk about how they've helped.
Absolutely, thank you. We've had such a great year of connecting with national partners across the country. Last July, we asked the Humane Network and UC Davis Shelter Medicine Program, which, by the way, the veterinarian who leads that program, the director, was the lead veterinarian in 2007 when the Humane Society of the United States came in and did that evaluation, which, as you know, did not go so well. We have fixed and cleaned up all of that, and then we invited Dr. Kate Hurley and her team from UC Davis back in 2014 to do another evaluation. So unlike the 270-page one we got 8 years ago, this one was 12 pages of, you guys have done a great job fixing the problems of 2007, and here's some new ideas, or some not new ideas, about how to take it to the next level. So yes, UC Davis has been great. Best Friends up in Utah have been exceptional partners over the last year. Humane Network, I mentioned. HSUS remains very connected and committed to our organization. And we also have lots of great local partners too, that we can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. I used to work in local government doing air quality programs, and I used to say 150 employees and a set of regulations are not going to clean up the air in Las Vegas. It's going to take the community. I say the same thing today, oddly. A set of programs or ordinances or staff, we can help, and we're going to be a big part of it, but we need the community. We need public-private partnerships. We need the business community. We need large corporations in our community to help get this job done. We need national granting organizations. We've had some great relationships and conversations over the course of the last year or so with PetSmart Charities and Petco and Best Friends. And so we're really looking forward to continuing to bring local, national, regional partners together, as well as our local government partners. Having this conversation with you, I certainly don't want to miss out on that. It's going to take our local government partners to step up and say, yeah, we want to be a part not just of the legal hold equation, but our community has shown us that life-saving matters to us as well. So, we've asked our local government partners to help in that arena as well, and we're excited about it. It's so doable, Randy. It's just doable, and it's great to have a community challenge that is solvable, and it's solvable not just in our lifetime, but now it can be solved, and that's exciting work.
Let me read your mission statement. To eliminate the tragedy of pet overpopulation, the Animal Foundation believes community is essential, education is empowerment, and action is everything. Our mission is to inspire and enable people to join the fight against pet population. So what can, you've talked about a lot of different organizations, what can every single one of us do to help you in your fight?
It's interesting you bring up that mission statement. One of the things that we jumped on right away after we made our big announcement of our new goal is a reevaluation of that statement. We sat last week for 2 days holed up off-site. It was a really great exercise. In fact, I announced at the press conference that we would be doing that to put forth a strategic plan outlining, okay, Robinson, how are you going to get this job done? So we spent 2 days doing that last week, and one of the things we reevaluated was our mission statement, and it's changing some, but the tenets remain the same in terms of we want to get from here to there, and how are we going to do it, and how can you help us do it? And so, there's so many. So adopt. If you're considering adding a pet to your home, please consider a local shelter. If not the Animal Foundation, there's lots of others. There's rescues that we work with, and it's all part of managing and solving the same problem. Volunteer. Again, we have approximately 150 staff members and anywhere between 800 and 1,000 animals on site on any given day, as we're bringing in 100 more each day. So our staff is able to very adequately care for their basic needs, but volunteers are really what make the Animal Foundation special. They can do all of the extras in the TLC, and they help us in so many different ways, and there's so many levels that they can get involved. If they want to come and walk a dog, great. If they want to end up assisting in our medical clinic, there's training for that and everything in between, so that's exciting. Of course, donate. We can't get it done alone. I said we need to build our revenue streams so that we're able to put those programs that we know work in place. Foster, that's another one. If you're not ready to bring an animal into your home permanently, we especially this time of year, we get so many kittens, young kittens, either with or without their mother, where a shelter environment just isn't suitable for them to get ready and old enough for adoption. So just to be able to take those animals until they are ready saves their lives, literally. And then that's all on the back end. On the front end, what's the best thing that could happen to an animal shelter? The very best thing.
You close your doors.
That's right. We put ourselves out of business, and I always look at that like I think about it in terms of if they don't come in the first place, that's the best thing that can happen. So lowering intake is that's the answer, and there are so many ways to do that. Certainly spay and neutering. Spay and neuter your pets, please. And we offer low-cost spay and neuter programs, as well as a vaccine clinic. So shouldn't be any fiscal or financial reason to not get that taken care of. In addition, one of the programs that we'll be implementing that I'm really excited about, because it does that front end part, and that is what's often referred to as an intake intervention program, or more realistically, programs. So what can we do to help people keep their animals out of here in the first place? So maybe that's a hotline where we talk with someone before they arrive. By the time they arrive, I think mentally and emotionally, a decision in most cases has been made. But if we can talk them through a house breaking issue or some kind of small behavior issue. So there's those programs, there's helping with food, there's medical programs, and so we're really excited about getting going on the intake intervention side. And You know, it's a difficult, it's a very emotional and it's a very difficult issue. But if you think about it, the equation is simple. You lower intakes, you increase what we call positive placements, whether that's return to owner, adoption, transfer to another rescue partner. And what that does in the middle is a beautiful thing. Euthanasia goes like this. And we've seen that. We've seen that happen over the course of the last 5 years. We've reduced our euthanasia numbers by more than 50%. And that's what's really set the stage for us to take it to the next level and be able to implement some of these programs that, with 51,000 animals coming in, it was just far more difficult. And the industry, the profession changes. You know, it's a new profession, and so it's important to stay on top of what's happening. Community Cats, as an example, 5-6 years ago, I'm sure there was somebody doing it, but it wasn't all the talk of all the national conferences, and it is now. You go to a national conference in the animal welfare industry, you are going to hear about community cats because it is what is going to save them.
Well, we sure appreciate you taking time, and you and your staff do amazing work that is very noble and much needed for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy.